Redneckdigs here. This is my coin settings for the Nokta Legend. First, you want to go across the top of the screen. You want to use your directional pad and go to the right. Go across the top of the screen until you come to the very first icon in the left-hand screen. It's got trees and paths, and that's the one you want to use. The very next one to the right of that is a farm, but you want the one in the very left-hand corner. It's park mode. And then you want to come down to the left-hand corner of the screen, and you want to go one button up from the left. There's a horseshoe. You want to hit that button until you come to an A button. An A shows up right below the park icon. That's all metal. And then right below the horseshoe button you pushed, in the very left-hand corner, there's another button. You push that button till right under that A, you keep pushing, M1 will show up. Okay. Now you go to the very right of the buttons, in the very bottom right hand of the corner or right hand corner. You push a button, and it should come a toggle flashing. It should be for you the second toggle on the bottom left hand screen should be flashing. Now you want to hit the directional pad up. Oh, when it's flashing, you want to go with the directional pad up and down. You want to set it until the number comes to a 5. That is recovery speed. You want to set the recovery speed at 5. And then you'll hit the 3 buttons across the bottom on the pad down here. You'll hit the button in the middle, and then iron filter will show up. And then you hit the up and down directional pad until it comes down to a 3. That's your sweet spot. And then you'll hit the directional pad to the right. This is the stability for the iron filter. You want to hit the directional pad up and down until you go to a 5. And then hit the directional pad to the right. That's bottle cap. I don't mess with that. That's ground filter. I don't mess with that. This is deep targeting. I set that at 2. Directional pad to the right. It goes back to iron filter. Then you hit the 3 buttons across the bottom again. You hit the button in the middle. That goes back to the icon flashing at the bottom. Hit the directional pad to the right. That brings you to volume. Set the volume with the directional pad to 3. It should be on 3, but it might be on 2. Once you get that set to 3, if you like it, set it wherever you like. I like it set on 3. I wouldn't go no higher than 3. But once you get that set, hit the 3 buttons in the bottom here. Set it. Hit the middle button. It brings up iron filter. I set that with the directional pad up and down. I set that at 4. Hit the directional, or hit the buttons in the middle down here. Hit the middle button. It goes back to your volume. And then hit the directional pad to the right. That brings you to a new toggle. Hit the directional pad up. That's probably going to take you to a P, which is pitch mode. You just keep hitting the directional pad up until you come to a 6. Once you get to 6, then you'll hit the directional pad to the right. That takes you to a new icon that's flashing to the right. All right, once you get that icon flashing, you'll hit the up button. Once you get that flashing, that brings you a, it should bring you a 5. But if it don't bring you a 5, it'll bring you a number. But it should be set at 5. That is your Aaron grunt. I leave that set at 5. The next one over, when you click to the right, is 10 to 20. I turn that down to 0 because you're not going to need, these are your different tones, the sounds for your different tones. But you're not going to need this tone because we're only hunting for coins. So there's no coins in that range, so I turn that completely down so it doesn't get distracting. So I turn that down to 0, and then you flip to the right with the directional pad. This is your nickel range. I turn that up to 10. This will be the start of your penny range. I turn that up to 10. This will be your penny and dime range. I turn that up to 10. And this will be the end of your dime range and your quarters, 50-cent pieces and dollars. I'll leave that up at 10. And then hit the 3 buttons. The 3 buttons at the bottom, you hit the middle button. Hit the directional pad to the right. Hit the directional pad up. These I leave all at the presets. These are the tones of the sounds. The first one is a 1. Hit to the right. The next one is a 7. It's been turned down, so it don't matter. Next one over is a 13. Next one over is a 19. Next one over is a 25. And the next one over is a 30. Directional pad, or 3 buttons across the bottom. Hit the middle button. Directional pad over to the right. Directional pad up. These are the tone breaks. The first one is your oh, I'm sorry, I was looking for something here. The first one is your Aaron. This one here is the one I told you that was turned down. This is the nickel. This is the start of the penny. What you do here, once you get here, I'll turn it back off, or turn it down to. Once you get to this box, it'll be set from 30 to 40. What you want to do is you want to hit the directional pad. Once you get to the 30-40 box, you want to hit the directional pad up twice till it goes to 42, and then hit the directional pad to the right. And once you get to the directional pad to the right, I'll go back to where it's back to where it's supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to look. Right there is the way it's supposed to look. Once you get to the direct, all right, that's the way the 42 was supposed to look. Then I hit the directional pad to the right. Okay, then that's what it's supposed to look. Once you got the directional pad to the right, then you'll hit down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, you hit down 4 until you go to 46. Then you hit the directional pad to the right, and that'll go back to 10. So you got 10, directional pad to the right, 20, directional pad to the right, 30, directional pad to the right, 40, you got 42, 46, 10, 20, 30, 42, 46. Okay. So, this is your nickels. This is your start of your pennies. This is your dimes. And that's your dimes. And then to the right of that is your quarters, silver dollars, and halves. And then you would hit just hit the button on the right down here. That'll get you out of there. Okay, that's all set. Now, I'll show you the difference in the tones. This is a dime. This is a penny. Dime. 46 has one tone. Penny. 42 has another tone. So, please tell me what you think. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.